Yeah, okay. All right, y'all, we're gonna just jump right in. Uncharacteristic, I know. We could still drink our coffee. There's time. Don't you worry. Um, so what we're doing today,
Okay.
we have split squats, right? That's kind of our main thing today. But in order to, after our generic warm up, our activations are going to be some fire hydrants. You have 10 per side. If you have a band, a little band, you can put around your knees. I don't own one, so that's okay. They are not necessary. It's just you have a little PT band. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. Um, Followed by 20 bear plank hip, sorry, 20 bear plank shoulder taps. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, those are great. Exactly, those are good. And if you have a band and you try it and it's way too intense, because sometimes we don't have the option, it's okay to just nix it. Or if you have the option for either a larger or elastic that's less resistant,
Mm.
you can use that as well. But I don't want it to be like crazy hard on this. So 10 per side fire hydrants, 20 total, or 10 per side shoulder taps from a bear plank position or tabletop, basically. Um, Followed by 10 hip thrusts or glute bridges, depending on what you have available. So glute bridge will be on the ground, right? Behind you, no big deal. If you have something to lean against, a couch, something stable. Couch is assuming it's braced a little bit, of course. We can elevate the shoulders a little bit, but they're both very similar in principle. We'll repeat that cycle 3 times, followed by some Bulgarian split squats doing 8 per side. There's a little superset here. We're gonna put this with an potentially alternating dumbbell plank pull through into a row. We've done all of these things. We're just going to put them together. So these are components of two separate movements. We're making one. Um, and that would be 10 total on those, 5 per side. And I'll go over all of these when we get there. And then finally, have some single leg deadlifts and heel elevated glute bridges. All right, so we'll go over things one at a time. Um, I'm going to drink my coffee. I'm being totally transparent here because I'm being very efficient today. But if you'd like to start with your cat cows, your bird dogs, whatever else, or if you have any, I would say, concerns or things that come up as we move, please don't be afraid to bring it up.
Okay.
Okay. Just so I'm always disappointed I can't make yoga on Mondays
It's all good. You're with
because
me. You're with me in spirit.
I am with you in spirit. I'm also already at work, so I can't.
I mean, making dollars is better than stretching.
That's
As
true.
much as I love stretching,
I mean, it's something I'm getting better at. Recovery is something I'm getting better at each season because that's what, like, I can work hard. It's the recovering I'm really not good at.
I understand. There's
Uh,
also a recording, but I also understand that
True. No,
doing a
that's fair.
recording by yourself is not quite the same.
It's not the same, but it's still, honestly, I, the reason I have an aversion may be a strong term. I'm resistant to yoga as a practice because I've been to so many beginner classes, quotations, and I'm like, um, what's beginner about this? Because I don't feel like it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just so. I think that's more a reflection of the instructor itself, like as opposed to the practice. Eh, it's fine. Just so. No, actually, you're not. That's a good idea. I should take advantage. Taking your time through this kind of floor piece. Again, if you want to add or take away anything from your cat cows, we have bird dogs. I call these 9090s. I'm sure there's a different name for these guys, but call them what you want. Um, you can add in our thoracic or kind of like, I call it through the nails, but it's really an upper back rotation. This can be done from tabletop. Um, I will put my sweatshirt so I can actually see what's happening. So tabletop, right? Reaching up, reaching through. That through element is relative. We can do this from a non-tabletop position as well, but since we're already here, it just kind of makes sense, right? And you may alternate or stay on one side at a time. Either way, you're completing 6 total, 3 per side minimum. Or you can add a rep here and there if you'd like to per arm. Excuse me. Ooh, gotta sneeze. Okay. And kind of last but not least, we're gonna do we're gonna do a half kneeling. So that's just where we're kind of right here. Half kneeling, right? No big deal. In this case, my right foot's in front, my back leg, left leg is behind me. I'm gonna switch my left butt cheek first. If this is a stretch, great. Maybe I just stay here. If I feel like, you know what, I can do more, right? Lovely. I'm going to lean through my hip flexor, not through my belly. So in this case, I'm not reaching this way. I'm reaching through kind of the hip. So my glute engages more for me anyway. Um, and we're looking for something that just feels like a good stretch through the front and a glute engagement in the back. And then we're going to shift the opposite. My left hip, or both hips, move behind. They start to straighten my opposite leg as they start to. Not really. I don't straighten my leg because my leg doesn't do that. Um, so it's a hamstring on the opposite leg. Let's come back. Butt squeezed, maybe a lean. The hamstring element is going to be something that whatever can tolerate well, right? So my leg is distinctly bent personally, but that some people straighten their leg, it's a matter of taste and flexibility. Doing this 3 times per side. You can hold these end ranges for up to 10 seconds. But I'll leave that up to you. Of course, we'll switch sides. Recognizing a side that feels more resistant to movement or feels more open. My butt squeeze, I'm standing tall, so making myself as tall as possible. Recognizing a hamstring or a glute or a hip that may be tighter. Right? And then finally, I know we're not a tabletop here, but we're going to go to the side now. So I'm going to stay in this sort of kneeling or tabletop position. I'm going to kick my right leg to the side, right? If I need to, I can rotate my foot upwards. I can even keep a soft bend in my knee if I tend to be hypermobile in the knee. And from the side, my right leg still out to the side. I'm going to just rock back and forth, right? So it's a little stretch on this inseam, your adductor. Again, we want something that feels gentle, right? You may even feel it kind of pull gently into the groin, but again, gentle is the key. So if that is not gentle, maybe you're just holding this position. That's okay. For some of us, rotating the foot upwards feels better, so toes towards the ceiling. But you can decide which feels like a better option. Let's do 5. Just oscillating if you have the option, or hold in that position for about 10 seconds. Oh, of course, we'll switch. Again, foot flat or toes up. Recognizing differences per side. We're going to be using some of these shapes later, which is why we're kind of touching them now. The back hopefully stays relatively flat. As we do this, so we need to support the hands, bring them higher up, put them on a stool or a block, yoga blocks if you have them. That's totally fine. Beautiful. Okay. So we have fire hydrants to start with. This is a lateral hip activation, if you will, glutes, right? And what we're looking for here is not to shift the weight of the hips, right? Too far right or left. So head on, I'm looking to avoid rotating my whole torso over. So I want to think about keeping, how do I see this? My hips even. So ideally, we're just sort of lifting the hip. That's all I got. If I go any higher, I start to kind of tilt over. We're doing 10%. It's okay to reset the knee every time. Let's start with that one first.
Is this with bands? This is the band
Band,
exercise?
yeah, if you were going to use a band, this is the one we would band with. So I usually go above the knee on this one. And if that band gets too spicy or just like, you start to feel like it's working too hard, um, that's fine to adjust for. Ten on one side, followed by 10 on the other. Good. My analogy for this one is less Pomeranian, that's really fall over, and a little more big dog. Large dogs tend to just like lift a leg. They're like, okay, it's all done. Yeah, good. After your 10 per side fire hydrants, we have 20. We can keep the band on for these, so you don't have to take the band off for any of this if you don't want to. Shoulder taps. So ultimately, the knees are going to be hovering slightly off of the ground. Toes are flexed to support this. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and elevate the knees, right? So push the floor away, and then 1, 2. Try. I mean, a little rocking does happen, and I believe we're trying not to lean into that rock. We're trying not to sway too much. We can help it. 20 total. So for anyone dealing with some like foot toe stuff, where flexing the foot or plank position, even a full plank position, does that make sense? We can do this from a shoulder or from a knee position. That's comfortable, right? So we don't have to use the feet. The feet are a little bit tender and flexed or extended position. Same thing, dumbbells for your wrists. You can make a fist on the ground if you need to neutralize it. All those things we can modify accordingly. And then we have our glute bridges or hip thrusts. So a hip thrust would imply, right, we have some sort of elevated thing, right? If that's not something you can manage, that's fine. If you have the floor, that's good enough. So we're laying down for the glute bridge. Belly is braced, butt is squeezed. Lifting the hips as high as they'll go safely. You don't have to like extend crazy high into this. And then back down. 10 of these guys. Your hip thrust. I know you guys keep rolling if that's what you're doing. My couch is anchored a little bit, so I can lean against this. My shoulders are against the couch, and I can lift my hips. Give you a better visual. Excuse me. So, kind of mid to upper back. I try not to round or flex the spine as I do it. So same intention. This is a little more complicated. We do that variation. Once you complete your 10 glute bridges or hip thrusts, and go back to your fire hydrants again. Repeating this cycle a total of 3 times. If you are doing this fire hydrant drill and you have a yoga block, it's a good cue. If the yoga block kind of falls off, you've gotten too far, basically. Or a pillow even, depending on the size of the pillow. You'd place that on the low part of your back. Work with these. We get sick of being kind of, belly button down. It's okay to take a break and kind of sit up or something else in between. And depending on if you're doing the hip thrust versus the glute bridge, both are great here. But if you're doing the hip thrust, for some of you, if your couch or your bench or your object is higher than you're able to maintain a good back position, don't touch the ground with your butt. When you look in a mirror, your back should look like a nice diagonal line, not the parentheses. Good. Finishing off round two, starting round three for some of us. Good. I'm sorry in advance about your butt tomorrow because it's going to be sore. That's okay. That's by design, but still. Nice work. With the bear plank position, keep the knees just off the ground. They're hovering. The higher the knees are off of the ground in that bear plank position, I won't say the easier, I'll say the less hard that bear plank is. So if you can, you think about sneaking like a fingertip under your knees, and that should be enough. Once you've completed 3 rounds of this, you can remove your bands, take your weights away if you're using weights for your hip thrusts or your glute bridges. Joseph, you mostly have kettlebells, right?
I have some dumbbells. I have 3, 5, and 10.
Okay, we can try this. If I ask because mostly use your kettlebells. I think those are higher weights. Kettlebells on this next piece for the pull through and the row might just be a little awkward because of the height differential, but it's worth a shot. It's not impossible. A dumbbell just makes a lot more sense from a form factor perspective, but both weights are weights. So we'll see what you like. Yeah. If you find that with the 10, you're like, this is kind of stupid, you can try the kettlebell. Give it a shot, see what it feels. So we're gonna start with, right, Bulgarian split squats. Or I say split squats, maybe for a better description. If you want to lift the back leg and make it Bulgarian, great. If you can't, don't have the space and you're not able to, or you want the balance demands lower, we'll keep the back foot down. We're doing 8 per leg. So when we carry weights for this, we have options. Carry it like a suitcase, hands by your side, a weight in each hand. Um, one or two you can carry it at your chest or on your shoulders. The higher you go on the torso, the more demanding this becomes. So basically, it gets more complicated. Um, so if we are doing our split squats with, let's say you have one weight, you can either carry either. So opposite of working leg, you can carry same, or we can carry it like a goblet position and hold it up here. You can decide, okay? Or even this guy, if you want to hold it up like this. Same thing with twos, just adding complexity. So, yeah, so we have our first front leg in front, back leg is in back. So I'm standing on my front leg. My weight is opposite for me personally. I'm sitting back and down. Looks like I'm doing a squat. Right? My foot is forward. Yes, you can keep rolling. You're good. Right? My foot is forward. 12 o'clock. Right? Back knee's not touching the ground. Hip, knee, ankle tracks. Same principle applies on the Bulgarian, where you put your foot, good, on an object, right? Like a chair, lovely, a sofa, right? Right? Either way, you can go top of the foot or ball of the foot on that, right? On this, I prefer this way, but that's just me. Right? Range of motion may be different per leg, and let that happen. That's okay. Once you have your 8 per leg, let me give you a quick demonstration of this alternating. So it's 5 per side. Dumbbell or kettlebell, plank pull through, say object, single handle object, into a row. So I'm going to use a dumbbell first, just to demonstrate because it's like easier to grasp. So the pull through, right? It's behind my left wrist. I can be in a plank shape from my knees. I could be a plank shape from my toes. I'm reaching across. Sorry, I show it this way. Behind my right wrist, excuse me. So reaching across, left to right. Here, row 1. Across, and you can't see the row here. 2, right? Kettlebell also works, but you might note that the height differential makes it a little bit awkward to row with. Like a row, kind of, right? Not the end of the world. You're still rowing it, but you can see what that feels like. So you're going to reach across, row 1. Reach across, row 2. Reach across, 3, until you get to 10. It's okay if the knees come down within that set of 10. So reach across. Good. Good. Weights here don't have to be extremely heavy, just due to the nature of we have a lot of moving parts, as well as the complexity of a row from a plank position. So you might not need a weight as heavy as you think, but give it a shot. See what works for you. Good. We're gonna repeat that couplet. Okay. You may have different weights for different movements. So your squats can be heavier, and your plank pull through into a dumbbell into a row can be lighter, relatively speaking. You have 3 sets of this. Resting, let's say at least after the pull throughs into a row. Um, Not a huge rest, but just enough. Nice squats, you too. Good. Yeah, good. Yeah, if you're lifting the back foot, right, whether it's on your dining set or um, whatever you got going on, the height of the object does have an effect on that, what that feels like. And that's okay. So the higher the object, you get a little more of a quad stretch on the back leg. And if you feel like you're too far away, it's okay to get closer. You know, if you feel too far, if you feel like you're too far, if you feel like you're doing the splits, and you're too close, if your knee automatically shoots forward because it has nowhere else to go. Good work. Back foot being lifted here is fully optional as well. More an observation, Joseph. You're doing just fine. You appear to be locking the knee joint as you stand, which isn't a bad thing. But if you tend to find you have some tenderness either at or around the knees after squatting, if your knee starts to like extend, I'm a little stiff, but like past, just stand up. Don't mind like locking that joint out. Like if you're comfortable, don't change anything. But maybe it's just the angle of the camera. Who knows, right?
Good to know, though. Don't lock out knees.
Yeah, you don't have to, right? Especially if you're more on the flexible side of things or a little like slightly hypermobile, even in like specific joints. Locking the knees or the elbows or whatever isn't necessary, right? So if you look at it, it should just look like it's a straight line versus like a slightly, I can't do it even, so I don't have any of the the hypermobility traits. But if you feel like your knee, you could stand on that all day and the joint is locked out, it's stuck, then that's probably too far. Again, it's not causing you pain, so it shouldn't be a problem. But
I will tell you tomorrow if I went too far.
exactly.
How about that?
Right, specifically around the knee and the kneecap, um, right behind the knee. But it doesn't historically hasn't been a problem. But I think under bigger loads and higher volumes, that would become more of a concern. Yeah, it's a conundrum, right? If you're working with people who are really stiff, you're like, stretch more range of motion. Then you have hypermobility people and they're like, I feel tight, and they're like bending in half, and you're like, maybe we don't, right? Like my hypermobile athletes, I'm like, I want whenever I say stand up or I want to say lock out, I mean you're always constantly gonna feel like you have a bent elbow or a bent knee because our proprioception around these joints are very wobbly. Um, so I never have them hit what they feel like is full extension or full flexion of a joint because for them that's just beyond what a joint should do under load. Um, which is why I give them a lot of bicep curls. You see someone with give them bicep curls, shortens their bicep tendon. Um, and it's good for your elbows anyway. Okay, looks like we've gone through three of those. We are killing it today. We are flying through this. So we're gonna take a quick break. We have another couplet. Again, something you've done before. We have single leg deadlifts, which I think we've done before. However, slight variation on this. Instead of having that split stance like we just did on our squats, although I know we did deadlifting now. So instead of our feet being like this, okay, so one foot behind the other, the foot's going to be to the side. So it's called a single leg we said no, adducted, no, abduct, push away, out, away, not together, right? Single leg deadlift. Okay, it looks like this. So abduction, then abduct away, right? It's that way. I'm putting my foot on something. So a stool, stack of books, does not be any crazy. Okay. The weight I carry is on the ABD, ducted leg. So it's in my right hand. Okay. So my foot is still forward. You can't see my foot, but there it is. I'm sending my hips behind me like it would that deadlift. But so my shape looks like this. This hip is doing that still, right? So still my single leg deadlift. The knee can bend. But I'm doing this while my leg is lifted slightly. I say slightly, you shouldn't feel like you're on a ballet bar. That's way too high, unless you're that flexible. So sitting back, my opposite hand here stays in line with my leg. So we're just adding a little bit of complexity. Your foot can rotate up, again, whatever you need to do on that. And you might be limited by what this can tolerate. Just something different for funsies. And then we have heel elevated glute bridges. So a little more of a hamstring focus. Again, if you can't do that, we can just do glute bridge. Heel elevated just means we're lifting our heels on something. Again, a couch works fine. A stack of books if it's stable. And then you're going to go ahead and here. So our range of motion is a little bit more. I'm 90-degree angles here, right? We're just doing that. And again, I would say band that, maybe not weight that one because it's just a little too far forward. So 10 per side, single leg, abducted, leg to the side. It says kettlebell if you're on deadlift. And then our heel elevated glute bridges. Play with it, toy with it. You can go unweighted first on those abductions, right? And the weight it's gonna be on the opposite hand, Joseph. So the leg that's away from you. Yeah. It's a little weird. Yeah. Just try it. Give it a shot. See how it feels. So hip goes back. You can bend your knee. Again, it depends on how high your foot's lifted. And don't worry about touching your weight to the floor. Let that, yeah, beautiful. That's it. That's enough. If you can erase it, you can just lift your foot up if you have like a little couple of cookbooks, a yoga block. Yeah, there you go. Just a slight lift. It's nothing like crazy high, right? I know I mean, relatively speaking, a sofa might be too high for you, right? Relative to your body height. So just a couple of inches is plenty. This one's just kind of, it's different. So you can start gentle with this. Yeah, it's okay. Just turn around and you don't have to face the camera for this guy. Yeah, good. There you go. Just a little twist on a classic, if you will. If for whatever reason this ABD, abduction, leg away, not together, is too much. It's too high. Go back to single leg variation or 2 foot variation. Again, if we need to make this a Heel elevated is not an option. It's okay to just make this. I know we did glute bridges earlier. You can make a glute bridge if your equipment is limited. 20 reps is a lot, so just breathe through those reps for me. So don't hold your breath. Keep your belly braced. Don't let that spine articulate, so no rounding or local, specific, smaller movement of the spine. This might feel more hamstring heavy, and that's okay. Good. And we're going to repeat that couplet, just two things. All right, 10 per side on the deadlifts, 20 total on your heel elevated glute bridges. Yeah. And same thing, resting at the very least after the heel elevated glute bridges. Um, Even if just a brief moment to grab some water, right? This last section is a lot more hamstring and glute focused, whereas kind of that middle part we just did was a little more quad and core. So we went from front of legs and belly into kind of hamstrings, glutes. Nice work. You're both doing a great job. Gentle reminder for everybody doing this. It is not in the intention to touch the floor with your weight. You might, but that's not the intended range of motion. Depending on the weight you carry. Nice job. Nice work. You're both doing a great job. It goes without saying, please don't pull a groin or like your adductor on this one. It is not worth it. Okay. So that's why we did that stretch at the beginning. And if that was super tight, you're probably gonna barely lift your leg or maybe just stick it out to the side, right? Not even lift it. Um, or genuinely, if you tend to be on the shorter side of things, lifting your foot up, right? Someone 5'6" or 6 feet tall versus 4'11", that leg lift is going to be relative to your body height. Good work. Those heel elevated glute bridges. I will say pre-run, bike, or even swim tomorrow, a little opening of the hips, stretch of the glutes, little figure four will do you some good. And go for a walk today while it's still dry, at least if you're in the Bay Area. Nice Good. Nice job. Let's work with those deadlifts. Yep. Nice job. This is your third and final set for at least the two of you on screen. Good. Take a little bit of rest. I have one more piece, just so that's fine. Plenty of time to do it.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say this is a first. I was like, Joseph Arisa beat you.
There's time for everything.
That's true.
Ugh.
That being said, this is not about speed and who we finishes first. Just a general trend I've noticed. Just
Maybe the kids are finally wearing me down. I'm only so strong.
Yeah, when your attention is diverted in three different directions. It's fair when things start to get a little bit
It's
fuzzy.
a multiplicative effect. When there's one, there's one. When there's two, there's four. When there's three, there's none.
Yes, that's what I've heard, right? Like, yeah, I've heard the same thing actually with, I say, I'm not comparing kids with pets. I guess I am, but not insultingly. When you have like two cats versus one or two kids versus one, it's exponential. It's not double.
Correct.
Um,
It goes from zone D. No, no. What was it?
Man on man to
Man to zone defense. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
I've been very lucky in that when I've babysat more than one kid at a time, obviously many years ago, because I haven't babysat in, I don't know, 20 years, whatever. But when I had two kids at the same time, they're both A, were very well behaved, just like very easygoing kids. Maybe, had a tantrum, but whatever happens. But like, it wasn't like, no, 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 I'm grabbing one and trying to chase the other. It was like very,
They can keep each other company.
well,
I
it was interesting because one of them was old enough. They were basically old enough to just be like, have you eaten your lunch? Have you done your homework? Don't cross the street without looking, like common sense, not small, not little, not littles. Nice work, you guys.
thank you.
Um, that was we're taking themes we've done before, pull throughs, rows, glute bridges, right? And we're just adding an element, right? So if you ever need to take an element away and bring it back to basics, it's always welcome. That abducted deadlift is weird, so thank you for trying that. It's strange, right? It's odd, but I'm curious how you feel next day. I know there's a lot of factors to consider when you're.
I'm not sure. I'll have to wait until tomorrow to feel it. But yeah, I'm kind of tired and I want to go back to sleep. Uh,
You can
it's
do
unemployment,
it.
but those days are numbered. I have a new job. Oh, as cat
Woo!
owners, we'll
Congratulations.
both appreciate it's an animal rescue called Perfect Pals
Oh,
Sanctuary.
Well, that's very cute. I love it. And
So
preferably send photos of all the cute cats at said sanctuary.
I know their website, all of their staff have not all, but most of the staff are carrying a cat in their
Probably.
in
Yeah,
their
that
yeah,
sounds about
about
right.
us section.
That's amazing. Well, very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, and friends, we are 10 minutes early. So take that 10 minutes, do with it what you will. Maybe do nothing, perhaps. Let maybe 10 minutes without kids. I don't know, that's a possibility, Joseph, but
we don't have them this week. Thank God. It's pretty quick.
oh great. Even better. So 10 minutes of
Fine.
alone time. Quiet. I'll
All
see you
right.
guys later.
Thank you, Kirstie.
Bye.
Ah,
See you, Risa.
Arisa, thank you for the calendar.
oh, you're quite
It's
welcome.
so Nikki had taken Alex home post holiday party, and
Uh-huh.
so just like left it at her house, like didn't know what it was. So I didn't get it till like a week ago.
Oh.
Just like
Oh,
your
yes.
Arisa gave you a gift. It's still at my house, and he finally picked it up. So thank you. It was lovely. It's
No,
very
thank you.
cute.
I just for all your comments about the cats. I
Yeah,
just I'm not a big gift giver, which I know is very un-Japanese, but I also it's like
great.
there's so much crap in the world. Uh,
I only give gifts if it reminds me of someone.
so that when I was just casually flipping through at a store and I'm like, obnoxious cats making faces. Oh my gosh.
Love it.
All it needs is
Big
a
fan.
flower around its head.
Yeah. I
Or not
don't.
obnoxious, moody.
I mean, cats have moods. Yeah. Totally. And they can be absolutely obnoxious, but so can all of us. So thank you. That's very thoughtful.
Oh, no, thank you.
Okay. Well, hopefully I'll see you next week. Meg's, I think, currently in Cozumel. I'm not sure. I think I feel like for the month.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Because
yesterday.
there's two camps and then she stays. It doesn't matter. We'll see her shortly, I'm sure.
Okay,
And I wish you well.
thank you. All right, take care.
Bye.